You're smart, you're motivated, you want to do something big. You're on the verge of being a young boss, and we're going to help you get there. I'm your host, Isabel Garino, and welcome to the Young Boss Podcast, where youth is your power. How many area codes do you do business in? This week, we talk about the power of consultations in service-based businesses, diversifying revenue streams within your business, and why sharing your secrets to success can lead to even more success. I'm so excited to introduce Tori Elise, a model and celebrity hairstylist and owner of Scottsdale's hottest salon, Fancy Salon. Let's dive in. Tori, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I am so excited for you to be here. I want to hear everything about your salon, but first we're going to do some quick fire questions.
All right.
Okay, would you rather scale a business fast or slow?
I would say slow and steady wins the race.
Okay. Trends or timeless?
Timeless all the way.
Word of mouth or digital marketing?
Word of mouth.
LA or Scottsdale?
That's a hard one. I can't pick. I have to pick both.
Okay.
50-50.
Favorite thing about your job?
Making women feel confident.
What's one book or podcast you recommend to business owners?
My favorite podcast is The Ed Milet Show.
Amazing.
He's
the best.
amazing.
Describe your business in 3 words.
Passion, community, and hustle.
There we go. You're out of the fire. Good job.
Woo, I made it.
I love it. Tell me everything about your salon and how you even got into business. You were 18 when you got started, right?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, kind of a crazy story. I feel like since I was young, have been really, really drawn to just beauty, fashion, everything. So just off the bat, I knew that college was not going to be the route for me. I initially went to cosmetology school because I had these big dreams and passion to work on runway. I was like, I'm going to be a runway stylist. I want to work on models and celebrities.
Okay.
So I went to cosmetology school for that. The actual hair portion of it, I did not pay attention to at all. Well, it's actually the majority of the course is hair cutting, coloring, and styling. I just went to go get the license. So I was like, I'm not going to need the hair stuff. So I just didn't pay attention. I was the worst student. I hated anything hair related. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. No worries. I just need the license to get to LA.
Yeah.
I just wanted to move to LA so badly. That was my dream.
Okay.
So hated hair through cosmetology school. And once I graduated cosmetology school, I was just turning 18. And I signed on with a modeling agency on their artist board, and I started working on set. So I started doing editorial shoots. I started doing kind of a little bit of runway hair and makeup. And I found out really quickly that I did not like it, which kind of my 18-year-old world kind of fell apart because that was this huge dream of mine that I had for so long. I was like, you know what? Something that felt so glamorous on the outside, once I was actually in it, I was like, wait, I didn't like this. I didn't connect with it. So my plan B was to kind of assist this woman who had a little 1 chair, 1 shampoo bowl suite. And I just found that once I was in a salon chair and in a salon by myself, and I was able to just foil the way I want, color hair the way that I want without following these really cookie cutter rules that they teach you in school, I was able to be creative. And I finally was like, wow, I love this. So it kind of just took me learning through trial and error and working on my own to fall in love with hair. And when I fell in love with it, I just fell in love with it all the way, all the way. And then just since then, I've just been living, breathing, eating, and sleeping the industry.
Yeah.
So when I was 18, I started my own little 1 chair, 1 shampoo bowl suite.
Okay.
Worked in that for a couple of years, hired my first assistant at 19. And that turned into me opening 1,000 square foot little space. So it was
exciting.
So exciting. And I just remember when we were building it out, looking at it, and I was like, I will never be able to fill this. This is so scary.
Yeah.
It seemed so intimidating. It was 3 chairs, 2 shampoo bowls. I was like, this is literally jumping off a cliff. This is terrifying.
Well, you're tripling everything overnight.
Yes. So I was like, this is really crazy, but whatever. I'm just going to keep grinding. And that's what I did. And within probably a year of that, I was like, oh, I've outgrown this. And I stayed in it for almost 4 years. And within that, I moved to LA. I had renters renting this space.
Yeah.
I moved to LA, started kind of bouncing back and forth between Arizona and LA.
Okay.
I wanted to move there full time, but I was building my clientele up slowly. So I would be in Arizona for a little bit, then I would go to LA just for the weekend, start building my clientele up. And then after probably a year of doing that, I just fully moved.
Okay.
So then I would be in LA for a month, and then I would go to Arizona for a week and take clients. So for the majority of my career, I've been going back and forth, living kind of in both states.
Yeah.
And I just like love it. I love the hustle and bustle of it. And where my salon Fancy kind of came into play and was born was with building these massive clienteles in both states. I just got to this point where I was like, I ran out of room. Like I ran out of room in LA. I ran out of room in Arizona. What am I going to do now?
Right.
And my husband and I sat down. We were just like, the pros of building something in Arizona completely outweighed the pros of trying to do something in LA for just a number of reasons. My family's in Arizona, the real estate market, everything is just makes more sense here, and just the sense of community. So we decided to build out what's now Fancy, and we've been in business for a year and a half. And I mean, talking about feeling like you're going to jump off a cliff, that was insane because it's 6,500 square feet. So it was a massive decision.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been in business for a year and a half and it's been amazing and I love it so much. And that's the story. And now I'm here just still hustling and loving it. Yeah.
You take big bites. You're going from 1 chair to 3 chairs to how many chairs?
19.
Now? Holy moly.
Yeah.
You're not like, let me just slowly go.
No, I think I'm like a 0 to 100 all or nothing person with business, like very black and white.
Yeah. How does that work? So when your clientele, if it's based on you and they fall in love with you as the artist, is it hard to then transition and say, go to so-and-so, who also works here and they're amazing? Do you find that limits you, or how has that transition been as you build out a team of other girls who you can help refer to?
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, I would say that in the industry and in the salon that I'm in, we have so many different talented stylists. So we have a curly specialist, we have a cutting specialist, we have balayage specialists, we have all different kinds of specialists. And I have my very specific niche that I'm good at, but I'm also in a very specific price market, and that doesn't work for everyone, and that's totally fine. And I'm so 100% confident with everyone that works in my space. So it usually comes down to a pricing thing. If my price doesn't work for a client, I am 110% confident that they'll be happy with one of my stylists, which is such a luxury of having so many people that work with me.
You get the variety.
Yeah, they're all so talented. Everyone's in different price points, and that's really important because not one shoe fits all, personality-wise too.
Yeah, I think you have such a big social media following that I'm assuming you get a lot of people reaching out to you. Is that the point where they're reaching out based on what they want, you're able to kind of put them in a certain direction, or is it more when they're coming in? How does that work?
So when a client wants to come to me, rather than just sending me a DM, we have them fill out a new client request form so they kind of already know what the standard is and what they're getting into before we would even reach back out to them. So reaching back out is not necessarily a guarantee. Yeah. But if we do reach out, I will either move forward with them or we will place them with another stylist.
Wow. So it's like a whole system you have now.
It's kind of a whole system, which it feels very organized and great now because I feel like for so long I was just like, okay, like let me get off of like a 15-hour day and then go through like 10s of 20s of 30s of DMs. And it was crazy. So it feels a lot more intentional now, and clients take it way more seriously because it's not just like, hey, like how much for this? It's like, oh, okay, like, this is a whole system. And I feel like there's a respect factor with that too.
I really like that actually, because it is not, I'm assuming before this, when you are just responding prices in the chat, then it is like, okay, no thanks. And now it's like, I just wasted my time doing that.
100%.
Now you're putting it on them.
Yeah, putting it on them 100%, which is great. And I've built such an amazing clientele that I love, and I still here and there do take new people, and it's nice because you're still getting to meet new people and build those relationships. But so many of my clients through the years also now go see my other stylists, which is so amazing because I still get to see them in the salon. Yeah. or I'll pass them down to assistants in LA or whatever the case is. And it's like, I still get to stay connected to them. And that client to stylist relationship is so important.
Yes.
So as long as they're still in my space, I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. In the hair world is crazy.
It is crazy.
It is crazy. Like, there are always new trends, always new styles. Like, everyone's wanting to mix it up all the time. I feel like we are a different generation, maybe, where maybe older generations, they come in, they get the same thing every time.
100%.
We're not like that. Like,
No.
people want to test and try new things. They do try to stay trendy to a certain extent. How do you, as a stylist, and then train your other girls to stay on top of all this stuff?
I think that continuous education is so important, and
Yeah.
I really instill that in my stylists. I make sure to have a couple of stylists, like bigger stylists, come a few times a year to the salon.
Cool.
And I'll host them.
Love it.
In exchange for my stylist being able to come to their class.
Yeah.
Continuous education is so important. Like, even for someone like me who people may see as someone that's established, like, I will never stop learning. And I think that's so important too, because you will get left in the dust with if you don't stay up with the trends. And I think that that's the difference between modern stylists now versus, you know, more so like an old fashioned stylist. They know, you know, one way of doing things. And now it's like the creativity level is, I mean, the sky is the limit. And that's why it's so competitive. There's so many talented stylists. There's so many people to go to. So I feel like continuous education is just, it's key. And that's what I try and instill in everyone and anyone that asks me.
Do you get a lot of your clients on social media, or how do you market?
I would say the majority of my clients come from Instagram and TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it like that when you first started too?
I would say when I very first started, it was word of mouth.
Okay.
Because it was just like, you know, I'm doing a couple of I started off by being just like a blonde specialist. I just like got blondes, loved blondes. So I started doing all of my blonde friends.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of when Instagram started getting hot too. And just like from the get-go, I've just loved it.
Okay.
Like, I get it. I love it. Like, it to some people seems like another job, but to me, and it is another job.
It is.
Like, it's a lot of work, but I genuinely love it. Like,
Good.
I will stay up all night to like edit videos if I have to. Like, it's psychotic, but I just like it. And I think it's made my business, and it's a free platform.
Yeah.
So I think that that's why I'm so passionate about it. And that's why I try and tell people, I'm like, you can be this, but you have to be willing to like really work for it. Like
put in that work.
You have to put in the work for it. So I would say now, majority of my clients come through just social media in general. Like,
That's incredible.
yeah, when I meet new people, I'm like, how did you find me? And they're like, oh, TikTok, or oh, Instagram, you came up on my For You page. And that's cool, you know, because again, it's a free platform that can turn your business into something huge.
So cool. I love that. And it is true. The world is so different now. It's not like the local person around the corner. Like, we are searching online for styles we like, and whatever, things will pop up and it's like, oh, I want to try this. So.
And that's what I tell people, because I feel like so many stylists that aren't comfortable using social media, or maybe they're not consistent. Like, they'll post once a month. They're like, how do I get here? And I'm like, there is no like secret. Like, I'm telling you that you have to, in this day and age, if you want to do well in the beauty industry, you have to be on social media. And I don't know, that could be an unpopular opinion, but I just have seen what it has done to my career and people around me. And it's really powerful, you know?
I don't think I go to any beauty place that doesn't have a social media these days.
Well, it sounds kind of crazy, because it's like, you almost don't trust someone if like you can't see their stuff. I'm like, I don't trust you. You don't have an Instagram. What's going on? But I'm also secretly jealous. I'm like, that's peaceful that you don't have social media.
Yes.
But like in the beauty industry, it's so important.
You have to, because I want to see what you've done.
I want to see what's up. Yeah.
And who else is following you and what's going on.
I need all the goods.
I love that. What's been one of the biggest challenges of owning a salon? Like, obviously you've done this and grown over time, but has there been a steady challenge, or just one like, oh my God, wasn't expecting this at any of those levels? What's been a challenge?
I would say the number one challenge that I guess advise people that want to get into business is you have to be okay with being on the clock all the time. And when you're a hairstylist and you're let's say a booth renter, you can, or even a commission stylist or whatever you are in your industry, you can, if you don't own your own business, you can go into your workspace and then you can leave at the end of the day and you're like, okay, let me wipe my hands clean until I'm back the next day. And with owning a business, it's not like that. Like you have to be on the clock and you have to be okay with it. Otherwise you are not going to have a fun time doing it and you're probably not going to do well because the people, in my opinion, that do really well in business are people that just love it. Like you have to like love it. And you have to be okay with like going further and farther beyond than most people will. Yeah. So I would say working on the clock. And the second thing I would say is knowing that you can't make everyone happy and that's okay. Yeah.
That is true. And honestly, I do not envy like hairstylists, especially, it's funny you said you're a blonde specialist. Whenever I'm getting my hair done, because mine's easy. Black all over,
pretty dark.
Very easy, right? Whenever I'm sitting next to a blonde and they're describing what they want, the adjectives are wild. There's so many words, there's so many adjectives, and it'll be like showing pictures that I'm like, in my mind, that picture looks nothing like the words you just used. Making clients happy has to be so difficult. So you, coming from you saying that you can't make everyone happy, it is like something that I'm assuming you really have to learn in this industry because there are going to be a lot of people who they're not exactly sure what they want. They're showing you something, they're telling you something. What actually is it? You're trying to like decipher this message and give them something. They may tell you they love it, leave a bad review. Like, have you ever had experiences like that?
100%. And I feel like the power of a consultation is so important. And when I meet new people, I actually have people come and meet me before I'll even do their hair, just so I can make sure that one, we vibe well, and two, that I know that you're not like cuckoo.
Have
like
you
I
said no to people?
Oh, of course. Yeah. In a nice way. In a nice way. But it's, you know, time is valuable, you know, and I will have a thorough consultation with anyone that comes in to meet me, or if I'm doing their hair. I think pictures are really important because I will call that out. Also, if someone's, you know, describing one thing, but I'm seeing something else, I'm like, okay, well, you're saying this, but I see this. Can you tell me like what you like and don't like about this picture? I almost like baby and over explain the situation. So I know at the end, if something were to happen, I know that I did everything in my power to like over explain. I feel like with the price point that my clients pay, I do redos. If someone isn't happy with something that I've done, I want them to be happy with it because I take a lot of pride in my work. So I will do their hair again. If it's like multiple times, then it becomes like a them problem. And then I'm like, okay, I wiped my hands clean. I did everything I could. Okay. You know, and people will maybe be unhappy with their hair, but they really are going through a breakup or something like detrimental is going on in their life that's making them, you know, have a moment. And you have to understand that, you know what I mean? So you can't take things so personal sometimes, but I can go to bed at night knowing that I did everything in my power to make that person happy. So I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you like didn't like your hair. Well, like I know what I'm doing, so that sucks. Like I want to go above and beyond. And I think that really will separate you from other people.
I think that's great. And I do think that's the point, is the power of the consultation.
Power of the consult. Yeah.
Because getting that locked down has been so important. Hey everyone, I want to share something that has truly changed my charging game. It's the 360 electrical. When I got this cord, oh my goodness, you guys, I'm always in need of a quick charge, whether I'm on the go in the car or at the airport. I want to be able to plug it in and 15 minutes later be on full battery, and that's exactly what this has done for me. It delivers 240 watts of ultra fast charging, so you're back to full battery in no time. It is perfect for those last-minute travel emergencies. It's got a super long cord and it doesn't fray. It keeps everything nice and tidy, super easy to travel with, take with you on the road. So if you want to grab yours today, head to 360electrical.com and use promo code YoungBoss for 20% off your order. Now, back to the show. So you're still back and forth, Phoenix and LA.
I am.
And how does that work? Do you have work-life balance?
Well,
or life is work and that's the balance?
Yes, my husband would say no. It's something that I continuously have to work on.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard because any entrepreneur, someone that's so passionate about what they do, it's just naturally hard to find work-life balance because I love it. It doesn't feel like work to me. Hence me saying a little bit ago, like, oh, like I could get home from a 15-hour day and then I could go and edit things on my phone and answer emails for hours. It doesn't affect me. So I sometimes do need to be like checked a little bit. Like people need to like clock me and be like, you need to like lock yourself in a room for a little bit without a phone and without anything.
Calm
and
down.
Just like chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that with any just business owner practicing work-life balance, it's hard, and that's probably my biggest like flaw, I guess you could say, is just finding that. But with going back and forth between LA and Arizona, since I've opened Fancy, I spend about a week each month in LA. So I'll do 3 weeks Arizona, 1 week LA. And then in the summertime, I go more half and half. So I spend half my time in LA, half time in Arizona.
Okay. And obviously you're able to serve clients both places. Are you renting a chair in LA or you own a salon?
I rent a studio in LA.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then here you're owning the whole building. So now you have 19 girls?
We have 19 chairs, but hairstylists, assistants included, we have 26.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have some other suites up above.
Yes. So
with
we
non-hair
have
services.
Yes, we have suites upstairs, which they're amazing. We have a spray tanner, we have a permanent makeup artist, we have an esthetician and a nurse injector.
So cool.
It is. It's so fun.
You are obviously doing the work of being a stylist, but you're also running this full business.
This full shebang. Full operation, girl.
Which do you prefer?
Do I prefer LA or Arizona?
No, which do you prefer?
Oh, the
doing
hairstylist
hair
or the management?
or running all the business? Because those are different skills. It's one thing to you know yourself, you know what you can bring to the table. It's very like self-managed.
Yeah.
Then this is like, you're now running.
Right. It's kind of a loaded question. I don't know if I could pick one or the other. I think that the hair part is like this creative outlet where I'm just like, wow, like this is amazing. And like, having someone come in, maybe not being super confident and giving them this like insane confidence by the end I turn the chair around. Like that's like a superpower. That's just like, it's so fulfilling. But another thing that I've found just within my journey is the passion I have for mentoring. And that obviously comes with owning a salon. I never ever thought I was going to be a salon owner, but just with my journey of building my business, this is kind of just where life has led me.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like they just go hand in hand. Like it's not for everyone, but I do take a lot of pride and just love mentoring people. Like being able to help someone create their path and career is amazing. You know what I mean? Because I'm still building, but to an extent, like I feel like, I've done this and I know how to do it and I understand it. But for people that it doesn't come so naturally to, having the skills to just help them get there, it's cool. It's fulfilling.
Totally. And you're doing some mentorship too.
Yes.
So you literally have everything going on.
Just a little bit of everything, just little bits and pieces.
How often are you doing that? And what does that look like? Is it like set classes? Is it shadows? What does it look like?
So it kind of depends on the month and just kind of the structure of the year. So salons from just kind of all over the US will reach out to us and say like, hey, we want to host Tori. This is what we want her to teach. Oh. And then if it makes sense, we'll fly to another state and I'll come in and teach the salon and they'll open it up to the public too. So just different stylists we taught a class in Austin a couple of months ago.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's like, it's fun because I get to meet all of these hairstylists from Austin, or maybe they're traveling from other states to come to the class. So that's super special.
That's fun.
I know. And I love teaching. And then the whole mentoring shadowing is, on my social media platforms, people can fill out like a shadow request form and it's kind of curated to what they want to learn. So let's say someone wants to learn more about balayaging or more about, keratin tip extensions or how to do extensions. It's a full day curated around what they want. So they're literally just shadowing me, standing there with me all day. They can ask me any questions they want. And we go over kind of a lot of like, the power of a consultation, building a business, they can ask me any questions. And then if they were to want to learn extensions, I will, at the end of the day, do like a hands-on training with them.
That's cool.
It is. It's so fun.
That's really fun.
It
And
is.
I love that you're like taking, hey, this is my skill set and here's all the ways that I can help and turn them into different businesses to, at the end of the day, hopefully be bringing you in even more money than you just working on your own, just doing hair in that way.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
What's 3 tactical tips that you would be like, okay, if someone's starting a business, you can't forget these?
I would say, kind of like I said at the beginning, slow and steady wins the race. And I think that it's so easy to compare yourself to people and to look at someone that may be like, quote, quote, further along than you. And it's just like, oh, like, I'll never get there. And I feel like pushing yourself, but never being too hard on yourself, because everyone started somewhere and you don't really know where they started. So it's just like, use that as inspiration rather than like, oh, like, that's not going to be me. Yeah. You know, I feel like the industry can be so like catty, you know? Yes. Beauty industries in general, it can be really, really catty. So I think just like remembering to kind of like stay in your lane too and not get like swallowed up in the craziness of it. Yeah. Another big thing that I kind of talked about also is just social media. Like the sky is the limit. And if you're consistent with it, you can really build a huge brand for yourself. So I would say like, you know, doing good work behind the chair is one thing, but also it's not really just about doing hair now. If you want to be like a good hairstylist, you kind of have to be the whole package. You know what I mean?
Like they're coming to hang with you.
Yeah, 100%. Like people will stereotypically say like hairstylists or therapists. It's like you have to be a good listener. You have to do, you know, all of these things and, you know, just really utilizing social media. I think that's really important. And asking questions too. I feel like a lot of people get nervous to like maybe ask someone that's above them or just ask like a mentor like, oh, like how did you do this? And my dad taught me that. My dad's in commercial real estate and he kind of similar to me, he started young and he built his business off of, he always just says like being curious, asking questions. So I feel like another thing I would just say to people is don't be shy. Like don't be shy to ask questions because those answers that people above you will give you might change your life.
Yep. Yeah. I love that. Are your parents like totally cool with you doing all of this?
Yes, they're cool with it. And they're like, it's a miracle that you turned out the way that you did because I was a bad kid. I was bad. I was in trouble all the time. Yeah. Bad. So yeah, they're just like, wow, like, I don't know how you ended up here, but they're so proud of me and I'm very close to them. Yeah. So it's really sweet.
That's awesome. You started so young. So do you think that being young was a pro or a con for you in business?
I would say it was a pro. I think that, again, it's not for everyone. I would say that I missed out on a lot of things that maybe other people that were 18, 19, 20 got to experience, the college life and all of that. But I feel like just from a young age, I didn't know what I was going to do specifically. I knew it was going to be in beauty, but I knew once I found that, I was going to take it and run with that. So I feel like I just knew regardless, like I have to make sacrifices in order to get ahead. And like I had to be okay with that. And I was okay with that, you know, maybe while other people were like raging and partying, I was taking a client until 1 a.m, or I was editing videos or doing whatever I was doing, but it was worth it, you know? Yeah. It really was.
It's so interesting because many other people who've sat in this seat have said that to us. Like, I had to make a decision. Am I going to be like everybody else and do what everybody else is doing, partying, going to school or doing this? Or am I going to build this dream? And the ones who stuck with it and built the dream, like now they're sitting here way more successful than all their friends.
I know.
And being like, yeah, maybe I missed out on that, but also I gained all of this. So
100%.
it is the sacrifices of business and what are you willing to give up to get what you want?
Because and that's 100%. And that's what makes, you know, far and few in between people stand out. And I tell people this too, like someone can say, and this can just be in business in general, not specifically hair, but you could hand someone the key to success like on a silver platter. You could. And not everyone is going to actually take all of those keys that you gave them and work to get there. Do you know what I mean? And it takes a specific breed of person to do that. And I've had, people that I've mentored through the years where it's like maybe they were an amazing assistant and I wanted it so badly for them, and I'll try and give them it on a silver platter, and they don't want it in the way that maybe someone like me wanted it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think in order to get to the top, if you say that you want it, you have to be okay with sacrifice, and you have to be okay with working harder than everyone around you, because that's what makes you stand out.
Yep. Are there any things that, because there are so many people who are doing hair and are known for certain methods or things these days, what makes you stand out? And are people coming to you for a specific thing? Or because you have such a diverse set of stylists, they really can come for anything?
Yeah. I feel like the exposure started when I started working on a lot of models, and that happened young because I started working with different modeling agencies. So once I got models in my chair, I started doing this kind of off the runway, Victoria's Secret kind of way of hair. And that's what drew people to me and to my page.
Yeah.
So I would say that's what kind of stands out to people, or the extension transformations and all of that. I feel like that is what kind of drives people to me.
When it comes to celebrity influencer, I feel like that's huge in the hair space right now.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Are these people paying to come get their services done, or is it a trade-off for promotion? And does that promotion work?
It really depends on the person. And I feel like I've had to learn through the years with working with a lot of models and influencers. I have quite a few of my clients, and I would say the majority of them do pay full price. And I have a little pocket of girls that I will use for either collaboration or I use for marketing. And it's a complete payoff to the both of us, because one, they're getting their hair either heavily discounted or done for free. And in trade for that, I'm, getting posted all over by people that have, millions of followers. So it does, I will be the first to say that it does pay off. And I don't think that you're ever too experienced to do free hair if it's going to lead you to, what your potential is and what you can do. But it kind of depends. I've been working with models and influencers majority of my career. And I wouldn't say that all of them.
It's not created equal.
It's not creative equal. So I really, if I am going to do a collaboration with someone, try and pick it wisely.
Yeah.
And I don't do it quite as often anymore as I did at the beginning, but it did really benefit my business when I first started, really getting in with girls that had a big following, that had, kind of a look that I wanted to promote.
Yeah.
And having them post me, I feel like that just brought so many more clients in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for someone that's building their business, I think that that's super important. And that could be anything in the beauty world, It could be makeup artists, hairstylists, fashion stylists, anything.
Yes, I agree. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Are you wanting to still, be having a chair, or do you want to transition into just the business side? What are you thinking for the future?
I definitely in 5 years will still be working behind the chair.
Okay.
I feel like I have a lot of other business endeavors that I want to accomplish, whether that's building, another Fancy. That could be in the future.
Awesome.
We're getting a little bit into product development.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't
Can you say anything?
I can't say too much about it, besides we're getting into a little bit of product development.
I feel like that's the way to go.
Yes, it's super exciting.
Okay.
And that's
Good.
a huge passion of mine as well. So we've been, working with a team that's kind of helping us get to where we want to be. So
exciting.
I think that staying in this beauty hair world, but starting to branch off into other empireships is definitely in the future in 5 years. So, and just continuing to mentor, really. I think that giving back to the hair community it's been just so fulfilling to me. So I want to continue to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where do people find out about you? How do they follow you? Where do they go if they want to come visit at Fancy Salon? Where do they go?
Yes, so we are in Old Town Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Fancy Salon, Fanse with a little asterisk over the top. And that's the salon Instagram. It's Fancy Salon. And then my Instagram and TikTok is I'm Tori Elise.
Okay, cool. Well, give her a follow, give her a like, and go get your hair done at Fancy Salon. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was
so much
awesome.
fun.
Yeah, it was good to have you here.
Amazing.
I love beauty stuff, you know. I think it's the best, and it's just such a fun business for women to be in, I think. I mean, men too, but you know,
it is.
We have so much fun like getting dolled up, and it's something that is like, we kind of own this domain. And so I love when girls are like bosses in this realm. It's just fun.
Oh, thank you so much. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for listening to another episode of Young Boss with me, Isabel Garino. Be sure to like, share, and follow on Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe on Spotify and YouTube for weekly episodes. And let us know, where do you get your hair done? Remember, youth is your power.